Yes, you made it back to video 4, and you know what that tells me? That you are committed to yourself and you care about your own personal development. Big ups for that one. Now, if for some reason you're just finding out about this and this is your first video, I am absolutely begging and requesting of you to go back and watch videos 1, 2, and 3 because they are going to be so empowering and they are the foundation of everything else that we're going to discuss today. So once you get past that part and we're here all together on video 4, guess what you get? Exactly what you want. If you did all of that work and you came back, you know what that says to me? You're like, okay, you've already said that this was step 1, so how do I take this further and what are the other components to your system? Because you know that you need the rest in order to fully activate your confidence. That's what we're going to go over today. I want you to understand everything, literally everything that you need to do in order to begin to totally shift and change your life. Look, once I began to apply this for myself and I realized that yes, August, you are brilliant. You do have a mission. You have a purpose. The more empowered I was with my own self-identity, then the bigger my dreams became. The more I wanted out of life for me and my family. And I decided, you know what? I won't accept what's common for normal. My standards change. My desires change. And therefore, in the spirit of sharing, I want to ignite that same fire in you. How am I going to do this? By breaking down the steps to you in the system, okay? So the first thing that we did is we broke down step 1, which basically showed you how to tap into your inner strengths. Life, in all of its circumstances, good or bad, actually has been showing you this is what you're capable of. Some of us are just naturally gifted at the creative arts, speaking, mathematics. It doesn't make a difference what it is, educational, entertainment. We all have natural gifts. Okay, well, in order for you to walk out your confidence, there are several other things that need to go on with you in order to change your mindset and get you ready to get it all. The second thing you need to do is you need to develop a dynamic vision. And I know a lot of you are familiar with vision boards, but this is bigger than that. And here's the thing, it's like I said before, once you realize what you're capable of, you go back and you say, man, I should want more because I know that I can do more. So your expectations for life, they rise. I know you're feeling me on that, right? I mean, think about it. When you went through that first step, did you have a moment where you were like, man, if I did that, how much more can I do? That's a serious question. I mean, I know that I went through that. It's like, okay, yeah. Well, here's the other thing about creating a dynamic vision. Once you realize that you should want more and you should have more, there still are a couple of things that you need to look at as far as it pertains to your life when it comes to creating a dynamic vision. Because there are other components still that will limit how far we can dream. And it's not enough just to dream big and say, oh, it's about a big house or a big car. So I teach you how to do more than just say, I want a lot of things. The third thing is the fear component. Even though you may feel empowered and you're feeling great, you know you have strengths and you want to move forward, we all have that fear of, well, no one's perfect and I have these weaknesses. And what I like to do is I like to call that operating out of the power of adrenaline, okay? Because you know how the mother's afraid when the baby's under the car and she has enough strength to lift that car up and save her child. I feel the same way about our fears. Once we understand how we operate, we honestly can take anything and use it to our advantage. After that, you have to say, okay, I need to begin to take decisive action. So, but what kind of steps do you take? Now, honestly, if you've been taking steps through life and you've been trying to achieve things, then guess what? You're going to need a little bit more direction and accountability to make sure you're appropriately taking strategic steps in order to get the desired results that you have. So let's just kind of recap a little bit. Number one, you've learned already. You've gotten the general gist on how to tap into your inner strength. And you can use that exercise over and over again to maximize the power that you feel in yourself. Number two, when you know that you're more, your expectations are more, so you create a dynamic vision. Number three, just so that fear doesn't get the best of you, you learn how to operate out of the power of adrenaline. And because you've prepared yourself, then you can go on to step 4 and begin to take decisive actions so that you can begin to get whatever it is that you want. You start pursuing your dreams. You start walking in your confidence. Well, guess what? We don't want to get too relaxed, and we want to keep our eyes open, because no matter how optimistic we are, no matter how well we prepare, life is still going to happen, whether it's, good, bad, or indifferent. And there's the classic statement of you have to take the lemons that the world may give you and turn it into lemonade, or people will say you have to learn how to turn obstacles into opportunities. And so we really dig deep in this section of my teaching. It really deals with the power of the positive perspective. But see, this is dealing with external stuff. This is stuff that has absolutely nothing to do with you and anything that you have control of. We have to be careful, because I'm going to tell you, you go through the first 4 steps, you will feel so empowered, so invigorated, so ready to go, and so on fire. You can kind of get in the la-la land, and then life will, bam, come and throw you a curveball, and before you know it, you'll almost feel like you're back at square one. So I really, I'm kind of strategic. I'm kind of like a commander, a chief that's saying, nope, I got to watch over my soldiers and, make sure that we're effective in battle. That's just me, and that's my perception. I'm a strategic woman. But anyway, after that, we go into another phase, and it's called rebranding relationships. Now, some of you may already be thinking, wow, that is a good component as soon as you hear the name of it, but you might be thinking, why would you wait so long to introduce that part? We go through all of these steps, and now you want to talk about our relationships. Look, think about it. When you go through these processes, you metamorphose into a completely different individual. And just like you're learning to re-identify with who you are and to feel more empowered, you're going to have to do that same thing with people in order to rebrand your relationship. So you got to put the mirror on you first and allow yourself to be accepting to who you are, so that you can be more accepting to who others are. And honestly, sometimes, no matter how accepting we may be of other individuals, we also may find out that some of our relationships, they aren't optimal to our success, and we have to make some, wise decisions on how we deal with certain individuals in our life. The last component in my system, I like to call it the domino effect to goal setting. A lot of times we talk about setting goals, and we have these big goals, and we want to go and we want to achieve them. And when you're trying to achieve something that's really big and that's out there, that's kind of far, when you're going and life is throwing its challenges at you, even though you got the power of positive thinking and you're being strong, it's like it can get a little tiresome, and we're not supposed to get weary. We're supposed to stay strong. I mean, think about it. When that time when you were just going, you knew you could do it, and it just seemed like, man, if one more thing happens before I get to my goal. So in the domino effect of setting goals, you strategically plan so you're hitting goals constantly. I don't care how small they are. It's the point that you constantly are hitting goals, kind of like the dominoes when you push one and it just, and they all start falling down. That puts you in a place where you can maintain momentum. Okay, because that's one of the biggest things that a lot of people deal with when it's time to attain anything. Keep maintaining momentum is, it can be difficult, but this will get you in a position where you're going to be on fire. So these are the steps in the system. This is what they do, and this is how they work. Once you go through this whole process of understanding who you are, what you're supposed to have, how you're supposed to get it, understanding how to deal with fear, turning obstacles into opportunities, and learning how to make strategic, decisive steps, being able to relook at your relationships and get the most out of them instead of it feeling like everybody's getting the most out of you, understanding how to goal set, you're going to be on fire. Okay? I mean, I said a lot, and I said it fast. Think about that. Really, really take the time to soak it in. Can you see how this would turn you into a powerhouse? Okay? I want you to wrap your mind around it. You know, I'm real big. Close your eyes. Just think about it for a second. You went through the first step. Remember how empowered you felt when you did it. You got it? Your expectations, all that feeling, all that changing. Yeah, you see what I had to do? I had to take all that energy that I just had and I had to hone it. And you got to house that thing, because you will be on fire. You will be so excited about where this life is going to take you. This method is awesome, people. It's changed the lives of many other people. And I definitely want to see how it's going to change your life. Sometimes you got to do that. You just got to breathe. You just got to take it all in. You know, I don't know what it is that you want. I don't know what it is that you're trying to accomplish. I just know that trying isn't an option anymore. Your presence here says that you have high expectations. 3 questions. So what do you want? Why do you want it? And why would you let anything stop you, including yourself? Operating in your confidence can mean so much for you. Let me tell you what it meant for me. Being able to say, okay, I have a gift and I have a purpose, and I'm going to get out here in front of the world and shine and share my knowledge, my wisdom, and effectively communicate and be this brilliant woman that I was born to be. What did that mean to me? That meant changing my life. That meant changing how things functioned in my household. Look, I already told you, I don't accept common for normal. Now, when I was coming up, my grandmother was in the home. She was always available to make sure dinner was ready, to make sure the home was tended to. But my grandfather worked long, hard hours. They were the traditional family, and my grandfather definitely, he held it down. And that's awesome. But I didn't know my grandfather, and unfortunately, he's gone now. I didn't know him like I know my grandmother. And you know what? I said, I don't want that for my kids. I've always worked from home. Like I said before, I was a cosmetologist, but I was working hard. I predominantly did braids. That meant hours of working on an individual's head. So here it is, I'm at home and I'm working, but I was still battling between doing my job and being a wife and a mother. Whereas developing a lifestyle and an occupation, not an occupation, but a career, being a business owner, working for myself, I learned that I could dictate what my destiny was. This is what operating out of confidence means to me. Because what's normal to me is at 8 o'clock in the morning when I roll over, Mr. Crenshaw is still there. What's normal to me is at any given time of the day, my 3-year-old or my 1-year-old or my 11-year-old who's homeschooled can run up on me or my husband and crack a joke and be silly and just do something weird. The family being together at all times, if that's what we want, that's normal to me. It didn't feel good when my husband would get up at 5 o'clock in the morning so that he could get himself together, so he could deal with the commute, so that he could get to his, get to the home of the person he was going to do work on. Even when he was an independent contractor, people, he wasn't even a standard employee. But that didn't feel normal to me. When you walk in your confidence, you begin to have higher expectations for your life. And it's literally just that simple. What you believe is possible changes, and so what begins to happen for you changes. It's not just about the houses or the cars. I mean, don't get me wrong, who doesn't want the increase in the quality of living as well? But I'm talking about just the overall quality of life. That's why I do what I do. But you know something else that really feels good to me? It feels good to no longer betray myself. As I took time to go back and to look at my life, you know what? This is me. This is August. And the people that knew me when I was growing up, even when I was a little girl in church, I would be up there saying the announcements. I was only 11 years old. I was always the first to want to raise my hand in class, have something to say, was excited about doing presentations, the person that people came to for advice. Look, when you get a chance to look back over your life, to begin to get to know yourself, because this is what the system does. It gets you back in touch with you. You realize your calling. You realize your purpose. This is why I do what I do. Confidence is the core foundation of everything. There are plenty of brilliant people. How many times do we have to keep on hearing the story about this guy that was better than Michael Jordan, but he didn't make it? But he didn't make it, that's all I heard. Everything else is womp, 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 womp. All I know is MJ. Okay? So it's not about being the smartest. It's not about being the strongest. It's about being available. It's about being true to yourself. It's about growth. It's about desire. It's about passion. This is why you're here, and this is why you decided to learn about the system. So what's your passion? What do you want to do? What's your dream that you suppressed? Take the time and just allow yourself to go there. We only did the first component, but I know it was eye-opening. What's your dream? What's your vision? Everybody doesn't want the same thing. Maybe you really do like the job where you work. You're in a field and you're working that career, but you do want to be in a different position. I don't care what it is. You can have whatever your heart's desire is. You just have to activate your confidence. It's been established. You know exactly what you want. You know why you want it. And you've also come to a concrete conclusion that nothing is going to get in your way, not even yourself. And for that reason, I want to help you get there. And the way I'll do that is by giving you the opportunity to get access to the entire system at a very phenomenal rate. I'm going to tell you right now, there's 7 modules. We've already went over the first one. We'll go way more in depth with it. We'll have the 7 modules. I do this training via webinar and over the phone. We'll have Q&A sessions where you can ask me questions and get the answers that you need. There's actually a full workbook. You kind of got a little sample of that when you looked at step 1. I give you that as well. And we begin this journey and this process to break down all of these things with you so that you can begin to walk on your journey. Now, the biggest question is, okay, August, what's the investment? Typically, the investment is $13.97. But as a special promotion, I'm deciding to let the program go at 50% off. For all of the modules, you can have complete access for a paid in full amount of $697. And if for any reason that's a stretch for you, I also offer the 3-pay method where it's 3 payments of $297. Now, here's the thing. I like people who say, I'm serious about me. So I want to give you something extra. I want to throw a bonus in there. For the first 12 people who show me that you're committed to yourself and you know that you can trust in yourself and you're ready to make that level of investment, I am going to throw in a 90-minute one-on-one coaching call with me. And we're going to get in together. We're going to get down and dirty. It's going to be personal and private. It'll be just me and you. But it only goes out to the individuals who invest and pay in full. You have to pay in full and be one of the first 12 in order to be able to get that additional bonus. Okay? Now, I know some of you may be sitting there saying, oh God, this sounds phenomenal, but, well, what are the common questions or buts that I usually deal with? Well, number one, it has a lot to do with time. 7 modules? August, that sounds like a lot. Slow down. Now, think about this. You went through that first step. You might have read the intro and all of that stuff to the workbook. But when it came down to the meat and potatoes of step 1, how long did it take you to read the complete section? 15 minutes? Don't overcomplicate this, guys. You have access to the program via the internet. You can utilize the system at your leisure. It's not like college where you have to report to the classroom from 9 to 9:50, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You do it when it's comfortable for you. And because my method requires more thinking than working, you know what? For instance, you might pick up the workbook on Monday, read all of the questions, and kind of just stew on them for a day or two. Maybe you write out some of the answers on Tuesday and some of them on Thursday, and you don't touch it again until Friday, but you'll be prepared for the next week. Don't overcomplicate things. This isn't something that's very stringent when it comes to time. And I'm going to tell you something. It is absolutely phenomenal to be on the Q&A calls, because when it's me, you, and other people, there's a lot of synergy there. And you can learn a lot from the questions that other people will ask. But if you can't attend, guess what? Everything is recorded and it's sent to you, so you still get the opportunity to hear everything, okay? The second thing is, I know some of you, it's not ironic, it's just the reality. You may be questioning, hey, I don't really know. I've done this before. I've invested in things. I started and I didn't finish it. Look, we've already discussed this from the beginning. This isn't like anything that you've ever experienced before. This isn't anything like what you've been taught before. This is the foundation to any other training that you would ever get from anybody else for the rest of your life, because it develops that mojo. It gives you the confidence. A lot of other things that you've done in the past, remember, we're beyond that now. We're moving forward. If you're here and you made it this far, you're committed. You're more committed than you understand. And in a team and a tribe of people who are just as committed to your success, how much more empowering, will that actually be? So once again, being in a community of people where there's a level of accountability, but also energy, where we're all going for a common goal, that is encouraging as well. And like I said, part of the thing is not succumbing to the pressure. Okay? Don't feel like, oh, it's 7 modules and it's once a week and there's questions here. I gotta do this, I gotta do this thing. No. Breathe. Slow down. You work at your leisure. What you're getting is something that you're going to be able to use over and over again. Just take your time with it. Third question I usually get is, okay, well, I don't know. I don't really know if I want to spend that amount of money, and right now may not be the right time. The cost seems too high. Look, how much is it worth for you to make an investment in yourself? Especially for my business owners and my entrepreneurs. What is a lack of confidence costing you? How much money, my mentor says, how much money are you leaving on the table? I like to say, how much money are you leaving on the ground? Okay, with every opportunity that you don't partake in with a person who could be a potential partner, a potential client, being able to walk in that confidence and being able to execute, you can receive a return on your investment just by the relationships that you will begin to make when you learn how to walk in your confidence. And you know what? Some things are just absolutely priceless. I can't tell you what it means to increase your income and how that'll increase your quality of life and increase your time with your family. Because some of you, the entrepreneurial thing, it isn't for you. But like I said, what about that promotion? What about that increase that you're missing out on because you're not ready to step forward? But now, not only are you ready to step forward, you'll be ready to step forward with high expectations, negotiating your pay, and not just taking what's written in black and white, but going for the whole kit and caboodle, as I was taught to say when I was coming up. So there are some things, that I can't make those decisions for you. I just know that for me personally, what I've gained from being with my family and living life on my own terms is priceless. So this is for you. It's for you because your dreams are for you. What's burning deep down inside of you, it isn't a freak of imagination. You don't have random thoughts at sometimes. Go back, like I said, with me, I just got to look and I'm like, this is me. This is what I do. You have a purpose. You have a destiny. And I want to help you get there. Look, those are the kind of questions that people ask me. Those are the kind of comments that people bring to me. I want to ask you some questions. Where is your self-worth at? How much do you value yourself and your dream? When you make an investment in you, you can bank on it. Personal development, working on you is going to be more important than any other task that you could ever do. Now, in addition to that, I know you're saying, okay, well, that just sounds great, but what's up with this, this price? And, I hear it all. And I know some people will say, well, oh my God, if it was so much, why is it so cheap? Look, notice, no offense, but the biggest chunk of savings and additions are for people who are committed to themselves. I'm no different than a university. The people who put forth the effort for community service, the people who have aspirations and are high achievers, whether that's in sports, whether it's in academics, like I said, or in community service, what do you usually get? You get rewards. You get scholarships. If you've made it through 4 videos and you're still here, That says that you are way more committed than even you realize. You're not curious, you're committed. You're searching, you're looking for answers. I know who you are because there was a time when I was you. So for people that are quick to say, I can bet on me, then you know what? I'm willing to go on the journey and I'm willing to bet on you too. A 50% savings, I think you deserve that. Don't you? Absolutely. And then for you to say, you know what, I'm not going to step on myself, then yeah, I think you're owed an extra bang for your buck. So yes, I'm willing to give an extra 90 minutes of my time to give you some one-on-one coaching to help you get to the next level. I think that that is absolutely fair. So this promotion, it's in effect and it's going forward because people who believe in themselves, you know what? You deserve some credit. You deserve the opportunity to get the advantage, the upper hand, the unfair advantage. So yes, the program is traditionally at $13.97, but now it's at $6.97 for a one-time investment. That's where you're going to get your biggest saving. And if you are one of the first 12, like I said, you're going to get the bonus of being able to get one-on-one personal coaching with me. So go ahead and click the link and get yourself registered so that we can go ahead and get this party started and get it moving. You know, if you really, really want this and it's like, hey, I cannot do the $6.97 right now, that's fine. We can do a 3-pay system set up, $2.97 to lock you in, and then you'll just have 2 more additional payments. And I promise you, it's going to be so worth it. We're going to have so much fun. The way you're going to grow and change and develop, it's one of the most awesome things that you can ever experience. I mean, who's ready to see their life change? Who's ready to begin to do things that you've never done before? Get the patent on the invention. Go out there and seek the sponsorship that you deserve for the company that you're running. Go ahead and start applying at the banks and the institutions for either your business loan or for your federal funding, for your grants. This is your time. It's for you. Look, there's no limit on what you can attain. Do you want it? What do you want? Why do you want it? Why would you let anything or anybody get in your way? There are limited amounts of slots for the training period. Once the time is up, the link goes down. But I highly encourage you to go ahead and get registered because the offer isn't going to stay on the table that long. I know that. And those 12 slots, they'll be gone faster than you think. So get some sense of urgency up under your feet. Get ready to seize what it is that you want. Take a hold of it. No more waiting on life. Life is going to move to the beat of the drum that you play. So 50% off for my first 12 people. You get the added bonus of one-on-one coaching with me. Okay? And if you can't lock it in for $6.97, just know you have the option for the 3 payments of $2.97. Look, I've enjoyed talking with you guys. It has been awesome working with you all. And if you know that this is for you, then go for it. I have enjoyed myself immensely, but I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go now. So until the next time we meet, maybe on a Facebook Live or on Instagram or just on the Created Business page, it'll be a pleasure. Until we meet again, bye.